Meet Alexander Tarkovsky. He's not a typical Hollywood movie star, and he's not performing, he's enduring. This is not a film set. These are abandoned power plants, polluted rivers, and real chemical wastelands left behind by Soviet industry. And this is not a special effect. Every drop of water you see, every patch of sludge, every wisp of fog is completely real. The man behind it took it too far, and the nightmares didn't end, even when the credits did. The filmmaker, Andrei Tarkovsky, believed cinema could touch the soul in the same way poetry or prayer could. As Christopher Nolan once said, Tarkovsky's films aren't watched, they're mediated upon. Denis Villeneuve called this film one of the greatest cinematic experiences of his life, and Alex Garland admitted that without this motion picture, he wouldn't have made Annihilation. But to reach that level of transcendence, Tarkovsky pushed his crew, his actors, and even himself to their absolute limit. The production was cursed. The first version of the film was completely destroyed. Yes, the first version of this film, already fully shot, was destroyed because of a chemical error during film development. Tarkovsky had to reshoot everything, rebuilding scenes, sets, and performances from zero. And the end result is one of the most profound pieces of cinema ever created, but it would come at a deadly cost. This is Stalker, a film that defies explanation. It's science fiction without technology, a journey without a destination, a movie that feels less like it was made and more like it was discovered, buried in the earth and unearthed decades later. This is the story of how Tarkovsky's Stalker became both his masterpiece and his martyrdom. Chapter 1. The Zone. Somewhere beyond the edge of civilization lies the Zone, a forbidden landscape sealed off by the government, patrolled by soldiers, and feared by everyone. No one knows what caused it. A meteor, an experiment, or maybe something divine. All anyone knows is that the Zone is alive, constantly shifting, rearranging itself, and punishing those who enter without reverence. At its center lies the Room, a place said to grant a person's deepest, most secret desire. Not what they ask for, but what they truly want. We follow three men: the writer, who searches for inspiration; the professor, who seeks scientific proof; and the stalker, their guide, a man both priest and sinner, leading people through a landscape that doesn't follow the laws of physics or reason. The Zone isn't a battlefield or a wasteland in the Hollywood sense. It's quiet. There are no monsters, no gunfights, no spectacle. Instead, Tarkovsky gives us something far more unsettling: silence, decay, and the slow unraveling of three human souls. Each step they take could be their last. Every turn feels wrong, and every moment of stillness feels like the Zone is watching them. But what makes Stalker remarkable is how little it explains. You never see the supernatural, only feel it. Rusting machines, overgrown grass, stagnant water. All of it feels charged without meaning. It's as if the Zone itself is a living consciousness, one that tests you, judging whether you're worthy to reach the Room. The Stalker doesn't fear the Zone. He believes in it, religiously. He thinks it could save humanity. But for the others, it becomes something else. A mirror reflecting everything ugly they try to hide. As the journey goes on, their arguments stop being about the Zone and start being about faith, truth, and the emptiness of life. It's not an adventure. It's a spiritual exorcism. Chapter 2. The Curse of Creation. The making of Stalker mirrored the story inside it, a journey through chaos, loss, and suffering. In 1977, Tarkovsky completed the film. Months of shooting, endless takes, a crew exhausted, then disaster struck. The entire film stock, every frame, was ruined by a chemical error at the development lab. It turned out the film stock they used was defective. Everything had to be reshot from scratch. Imagine that. Every actor performance, every camera movement, every scene, gone. All they had left were memories of what they had once created. It nearly ended Tarkovsky's career, but instead, he treated it like a test. He decided to start again, from zero. And in doing so, he transformed Stalker from a simple adaptation of a sci-fi novel into a spiritual odyssey. The team relocated to Estonia, filming among abandoned power plants, hydroelectric stations, and rivers contaminated with chemicals. The water was filled with waste, the air thick with poison. The crew stood waist deep in toxic sludge for hours at a time. Every shot was filmed using natural light, long, slow takes, often lasting 5 to 10 minutes without a single cut. Tarkovsky demanded patience. He believed cinema was not about action, but about time itself. He called it sculpting in time, but for the crew, it felt like being trapped inside the zone. Actor Alexander Tarkovsky, who played the Stalker, once said, "We lived inside the film. We couldn't leave, even when the camera stopped." Years later, Tarkovsky, his wife, and his cinematographer, Georgi Rurberg, all died of cancer caused by exposure to those very locations. The film they made had literally poisoned them. And yet, despite every obstacle, ruined footage, reshoots, censorship, and illness, Tarkovsky refused to compromise. He said, "If you want to move people, you must show the truth, even if truth destroys you." Chapter 3. The Meaning of the Zone. At its core, Stalker isn't a story about reaching the room. It's a story about whether you should. When the writer, the professor, and the stalker finally stand at the room's threshold, none of them can go in. The writer fears that its true wish will expose his emptiness. The professor fears it will prove science powerless. And the stalker, the man who led them here, realizes that his faith might have been blind all along. The room never appears on camera. You never see what's inside, because the real room isn't a place. It's inside you. The zone, in Tarkovsky's eyes, is a metaphor for the human soul. It reshapes itself based on your inner truth. The paths move because your heart moves, and the only way through is faith. Not belief in God necessarily, but belief that meaning still exists in a meaningless world. The stalker himself is a tragic figure, a prophet in a faithless time. He's poor, sick, and constantly mocked. Yet he keeps returning to the zone because it's the only place where he feels alive. He's a man who believes so deeply that he's willing to destroy himself for belief's sake. When the stalker returns home, broken and exhausted, he says, "The zone is a very complicated system, a labyrinth of traps. They're deadly for those who think about them, but safe for those who have faith." That's Tarkovsky's message. The zone doesn't punish you for your mistakes. It punishes you for your doubt. Chapter 4. Truth and Legacy. When Stalker finally released in 1979, many audiences didn't know what to make of it. Some walked out, others were transfixed. Critics in the West called it too slow, while Soviet censors called it too philosophical. But over time, it became one of the most influential films ever made. Directors from Christopher Nolan to Denis Villeneuve, from Alex Garland to Andrei Villeneuve have cited Stalker as essential viewing. You can feel it everywhere, in Annihilation's mysterious shimmer, in Chernobyl's bleak radiation zones, and The Last of Us's lonely, overgrown cities. Even video games like Stalker and Metro owe their entire identity to it. But Stalker's real legacy isn't cinematic, it's emotional. It's the feeling that stays with you long after it ends. You don't remember dialogue or plot, you remember the faces, mud, rain, despair, and eyes that look like they've seen the end of the world. Cinematographer Roger Deakins once said, "Stalker isn't photographed, it's felt. Every frame has weight, you can almost smell it."